Hi guys, my name is Terry. In this video, I'm going to go through the MRSM State Trial paper for 2024, and this is paper 1. So let's begin with the first question. Question number 1. This is a very simple question from Form 4, Chapter 1 function. It is given that fx equals 1 over 2x plus 7. Find the value of x such that fx is undefined. Now, remember, a function is undefined in this case when you have what we call a reciprocal function, which is a function with fraction involving x. Your denominator contains x. So in order for this function to be undefined, your denominator must equal to 0. So in this case, 2x plus 7 equals to 0. 2x is now negative 7. X is negative 7 over 2. So you don't have to know how to sketch this, but if you to sketch a simple graph of y equals 1 over x, it looks like this. Yeah, the function becomes undefined when x becomes 0. It's either positive infinity or negative infinity. Now, however, in this case, we are actually shifting it to the left-hand side by 7 over 2. So it's negative 7 over 2 here, negative 7 over 2. The function goes to infinity here and here, right? So that's one is positive infinity, another is negative infinity. So function is undefined when x is negative 7 over 2. Again, you don't have to draw the graph. Just let your denominator be 0, find x. That's all. All right, that is part A. Part B. So here we have a diagram, yeah, that shows the graph of function gx for the domain of x between 0 and 3. So you're supposed to find image of 3. Image of 3 means your domain or your x value, your object is 3. You're finding the image. Image means your y value. In this case, your y value is 5. So image of 3 is just 5. Then as for the range of for x less equals to 2. Now let's look at x, where when your x is 2, your y is also at 2. So when it comes to range, right, we're talking about the smallest up to the largest value of y. Now here my y value is 1. The smallest is 1. The largest is 2. So your range in this case is between 1 and 2. So to write your answer, we write gx. You can write y, you can write gx, doesn't matter. You can write gx between 1 and 2, or you can write your y value between 1 and 2. But since here they put this as gx, so I suggest it's better to write gx. That's gx between 1 and 2. Okay, moving on to question number 2. This is from the chapter Indices and Logarithm, Form 4, Chapter 4. So you're given that A is 5 power x and B is 5 power y. You're supposed to express 5 power x plus 2y in terms of A and B. So number 1, we can break this up. 5 power x plus 2y. We break it up to 5 power x times 5 power 2y. Okay, so that's number 1. Now remember, we're going to replace your 5 power x with A and 5 power y with B. So the 5 power x here, there's no problem. We can replace it directly. But 5 power y, right, we need to separate from the 2 in front. So what we can do is we can, number 1, we write the 5 power x here. Number 2, we break this up to 5 power y bracket square. Now, I hope you know this. In law of indices, you probably learned this in your lower form, Form 3. A power m, when you power n, is the same as A power n bracket power m, which is A power m times n. So we can switch the position of 2 and y. Right now, I switch that so that I can replace your 5 power x with A and 5 power b, 5 power y with b. There's a square outside. So your answer is AB square. Right? So that's number 2, part A. Let's move on to part B. So here we have a triangle, right? I think this one requires a bit more space. So I'm going to move to the right. Yeah, I'm going to do it here. Now, here we have a triangle with length of your base as 2 power r plus 2. Height is 2 power s minus 1. And the area of triangle is 2 power r plus 4. So it's supposed to express r in terms of s. So let's use the formula area triangle: half times base times height. And your result is 2 power r plus 4. So in indices, right, you can see a divide by 1/2 is actually 2 power negative 1. You can divide by 2, you can put times 2 power negative 1, up to you. So let me do a bit slower. I put 2 power negative 1 here. This 2 power r plus 2, and this is 2 power s minus 1. The result 2 power r plus 4. So if you change the power negative 1, when you multiply together, we add all the power. 2 power negative 1, this is plus r plus 2 plus s minus 1. Now remember, a power m, when you multiply a power n, your outcome is a power m plus n, right? So this is, keep writing, 2 power r plus 4. So when you add this together, you can see this one you can add together. This will give us 2 power r plus s. And what happened to the minus 1 minus 1? This 3, right? We can add together. Minus 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So nothing left. Left with r plus s. And on my right-hand side, we have 2 power r plus 4. By comparing the power, since we have the same base, the power must be the same, right? R plus s must equal to there is a mistake here. Okay, sorry, there's a 2r. Sorry, there's a 2r plus 4 here, right? So that I miss out. This is 2r here, sorry. So this is 2r plus 4, right? If you are finding r in terms of s, you need to bring this r to the right, this 4 to the left. So r is now s minus 4. Okay, r is now s minus 4. Okay, moving on to question number 3. So this part A involving logarithm, you're supposed to find the value of log base BC, given that log base BC power 5 is -9. Now, we know we have to use laws of logarithm to break this up. So in logarithm, multiply, when you break it up, becomes plus. So it's log BB plus log BC power 5 equals to -9. Now, next, we know log BB is 1. So we can substitute this with 1. At the same time, the power 5 you can transfer in front. Okay, I hope you know this. That okay, let me just run through with you. Log base a x y, right? First thing in logarithm, multiply, break up, becomes a plus, right? So the first thing I do is I break it up. Number 2, you know that log a doesn't matter what's the value of a, it's always 1 because a to the power 1 is just a, right? Number 3, we know the laws, the third law of logarithm, that's if you have a log base a power x, x to the power m, you can bring the power m in front. You write this as m log base a x. So that's what I did here. I brought the power 5 in front. So then we write 5 log base bc equals to -10. As we divide by 5, -10 divided by 5, log base bc is just -2. Okay, I've got this answer already. All right, moving on to part B. This one using logarithm as well. So there's a study about expiratory waste of an organism in a petri dish. So when n number of organisms placed in the petri dish for a minute, so the remaining area not been contaminated, has not been contaminated is given by this, right? You're finding the area of the petri dish. So well, if you put it after 1 minute, if you have n organism, right, then we're going to substitute the value n. Now, if the area is, you don't know what is the area of that, right, of the petri dish that has not been contaminated. Very simple. We just substitute n equals 0. Let's say there's no organism inside. So the area will be 30, 0.9 power 0. Now, we know anything power 0 is 1. So the area is just 30 square cm. Right. Now, then they say, find the minimum organism needed to be placed so that the remaining area that's not been contaminated is less than 1. So very simple. We use the formula 30, 0.9 power n. Let it be less than 1. You're finding for n. So we cannot multiply 30 inside. Remember, the 30, they don't have the same base or the same power. You cannot combine this. Instead, the 30, you're going to bring it over, write this as 1 over 30. Now, don't change to decimal, because if you change to decimal, 1 over 30 will be a very ugly number, right? Log decimal point, yeah, like this. Okay, so I don't want to do that. I will just leave it as 1 over 30. Introduce log on the left, on the right. Yeah. Bring the power n in front, LG 0.9. This is LG 1 over 30. Now, remember, when you take logarithm of a number that's less than 1, it's going to be negative. LG, or log base 10, 0.9 is negative, right? Negative 0.45 something. So when you divide that on an inequality, when you divide a negative number, the inequality symbol has to change. So here we should type log, shift log here, right? 1 over 30, you divide by log 0.9, and you should get 32.28, right? N must be greater than 32.28. So number of organisms must be more than that. Number of organisms must be a whole number, can't be decimal, right? So it has to be, you can't have 32.5, yeah, got body with no leg and so on, right? But this is organism, they shouldn't have leg anyway. So N equals to 33, okay? Okay, moving on to question number 4. So the first part is involving integration, right? So you are given that y equals to 4x, 4 with a bracket x minus 5 cubed, and dy dx is hx. So you're supposed to find the value of integration 0 for hx dx. Now remember, when you differentiate y, you get hx, right? You differentiate your, maybe I should color this, differentiate the red one, you get the green one. If you integrate the green one, which is hx here, you should get back the red one, 4x minus 5 cubed. But of course, if it's indefinite integral, we have to put a plus c. Now, the next thing is, if you want to add in the limit, right, 0 to 4, we will have to add in the limit on the right-hand side as well. This is x minus 5, power 3, 0 to 4. So let us substitute that. You can put the 4 outside. Actually, it doesn't matter you put the 4 outside or not. So, or you leave it inside. So you put 4 inside, 4 minus 5 cubed here. Then you substitute with 0 minus 5 cubed. You use your calculator, right? This will be 4 bracket. 4 minus 5 is -1. So -1 cubed is still -1. Then you minus -5 power 3 is -125. My answer is 496. Okay, fairly simple. All right, that's for part E. Now, moving on to part B. So we have two cylinders here, right? It is given that the container, both cylindrical container, right, they have the same volume, and water is poured into the container at a constant rate of 4 pi cm cube per second. So find a time for water level B in Y exceed the height of X, right? Okay, one thing, number one you need to know is that they share the same volume. So if they share the same volume, we do not know the height of container X. So we say volume of X, which is pi r square. Your radius is 10, height must equal to pi r square h. So to find the value of h, right, we will take, we can cancel the pi, take 8 square, multiply with 12.5, divide by 10 square. Answer h is 8. So this h is 8. Okay, now that I know h is 8, I can actually calculate the time. Okay, so actually there are two ways. One is the standard differentiation method. Another one is even easier. So I'll show you both ways. Okay, so the first thing I'll do for differentiation method, if you want to use differentiation, we know that the water is poured in at this rate. The volume, yeah, dV dt is 4 pi. If you are finding how fast is going up, that means you're finding dHdt, right? So if you're finding dHdt, you need to use the chain rule dH dt, put the dv here, put the dv here. So dv dt is 4 pi. We can sum inside. dh dv we have to find. Okay, so we know that we know this height is 8. Yeah. We can take your volume up to you. You can use whichever container, right? You want water level y exceed height of h. So water level for y, right? You can use pi r square h. Okay. So pi r square h. Wait one moment. So this will give us 64 pi h. So your dv dh, when you differentiate, it's a constant rate, 64 pi. Meaning water level here, for every increment in height, if your height increased by 1 cm, the volume increases by 64 pi. Yep. But what we need, why do we do this is because we want to sub inside here to find your dh dt, right? So your dv dt, sorry, your dh dt is, keep writing the wrong thing, sorry. dh dt is dh dv. You flip this upside down. This is 64, right? If you flip it up, it becomes 1 over 64 pi. You multiply with this. This is 4 pi. You should get 1 over 16. Right. So what is the meaning of this dht? That means every time, t is time. Time increased by 1 second. Your height increased by 1 over 16. Right. Every 1 second, the height increased by 1 over 16. Okay. So the question is, how long does it take to reach the height of 8? Right. So we know we can just use this ratio. Maybe I just show you down here so I can fit everything in one segment here. Right. So we know that your height, right, is 8. Divide by the time taken, that's 1 over 16. So when you cross multiply 16 times 8, 1 to 8. So that means it takes 1 to 8 seconds for this water level to reach the same level as this container. Yeah, actually this container don't need to give large. You can just say height equals to 8, right? Right. So with that, because the question say exceed, they use the term exceed, and they didn't ask for the minimum. They say, if they say what is the time to the nearest second, the minimum time taken, then you have to take the integer value. But here they didn't give exactly what is the time. So whether it's the minimum or nearest second, so we will just leave it as inequality, t greater than 1 to 8 seconds, right? The unit is in second. Okay, so this method is really long, actually. Not to say very long, it's just longer, right? So we can actually do this without using chain rule, right? Because we know that the water level, water is pouring at the rate of 4. We can find the volume of water, and we know this height is 8, right? We find the volume water here, right? Okay, so volume of water in the second container is pi r square 8. 8 square is 64. 64 times 8, 512, right? 64 times 8. Yeah, 512. So instead of using this dh dt, I just use dv dt. What is dv dt? dv dt is the rate. Your dv dt is 4 pi, right? dv dt is 4 pi. That means we take the volume divide by time equals to 4 pi, right? Because we're talking about the volume increasing at a constant rate. It's not like variable rate. It's variable rate, you can't do this. Yeah. If it's constantly changing, you can't do this. The increases at a constant rate. So to find time, we just take 512 divide by 4, cancel the pi, you still get 1 to 8. So therefore, t is more than 1 to 8, right? So it's a lot easier using method 2. You don't have to find dht. You can straight away use your dv dt to solve for time. Okay. Okay, question number 5. This is from the chapter Linear Law, Form 4, chapter 6. Okay, so here we are given y equals ax power 3 plus 4x squared. And you get a straight line when you plot y over x squared versus x. So I just have to convert this from a non-linear form to linear form. Then we compare the gradient and the y-intercept. So very simple, we just divide everybody by x squared. Starting from here, divide by x squared. Your y over x squared is now a plus, this one is ex, x power 3 divided x power 2 is x power 1 plus 4. Okay, so this is your big Y, this is your gradient, this is your big X, and this is your C. So when you plot Y over x squared versus x, you get a straight line, and your gradient is A, your y-intercept is 4. So I think the first thing to do is to compare your y-intercept. My y-intercept from the graph is B, my y-intercept from the equation is 4, so B is just 4. And if I know B is 4, this coordinate is 0, 4. Now let's compare our gradient. When you compare gradient, you get y2 minus y1 divide x2 minus x1. 8 minus 4 divide 12 minus 0. The result is your A. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 divided by 12 is 1 over 3. My A is just 1 over 3. Okay, question number 6. This is from Form 5, Chapter 1, Circular Measure. You're supposed to prove that S equals to R theta given this. So I think, picture this. This is one whole cycle. One whole circle. We use the concept that you learn in Form 2. Okay, sorry, very ugly. So the full circle is like this. We know that if I were to compare the length of this arc S, right? Length of arc S divide by the one whole turn. One whole turn is a circumference. Circumference is 2 pi r. Now, then we compare the angle theta, divide by one whole turn in degree, 360. Is a ratio of length of arc, divide by length of circumference equals to angle theta, divide by 360. However, this is in degrees, right? So when you use radian, right, we know pi radian is 180. So 360 should be 2 pi radian. So we replace this theta with 2 pi divide, theta 360 divided by 2 pi. As we can cancel 2 pi and 2 pi, very simple, can cancel 2 pi and 2 pi. Multiply the r over, this will be radian. This S is just r theta. Okay, very actually easy way to prove it. All right, that is part A. Okay, part B, you have a circle with center O and rectangle PQRS. Yep, PS is a tangent to a circle. When the lines are tangent to a circle, it's perpendicular to the center of the circle. So we draw this line here, this is perpendicular. Okay, this is your 90 degree. We know this 90 degree, but more importantly, this is 90 degree. 32, if you halve it, this is 16. Actually, you can use the formula for chord to find this angle, right? The whole thing, let's call it theta. This will be theta over 2. Because to find the area of the colored region, we need to find this angle, right? So you can notice this is a triangle, a right angle triangle. So every time we have a right angle triangle, we can use SOHCAHTOA to find angle. So in this case, we use sine. Why sine? Because this is your opposite, this is your hypotenuse. Okay, you're not given adjacent. So sine theta is theta over 2 is 16 over 20. Use your calculator in radian mode. Don't have to use degree mode, because degree mode, you have to convert back to radian. When you use your calculator in radian mode directly, whatever you're getting is in radian, right? So radian mode, shift sine 16 over 20, 0.9273. Yeah. Please times 2. Yeah, times 2, 1.855. Yeah, you can use more decimal point. I think it's not necessary. Yeah. Theta, you can write 2 times of sine inverse 16 over 20. If you want, it's not necessary, 1.855 in radian. Yeah, for significant figure. Now, next, if you're finding area, right, you notice that this shaded region or colored region consists of this sector plus this rectangle, but you got to subtract this segment. This is a segment. You're taking away this yellow region here, right? So for this angle, we already know that this is 1.855. Okay. But at the same time, right, this length, we know this is 16, this is 20. We can use Pythagoras theorem to find this height. Yeah. So the height here should be 20 square, 16 square, square root. That will give us 12, right? You can use your calculator. It's 12. Okay. It's 345 actually, the ratio. 20 square, 16 square. That gives us 12. Okay. If this is 12, we take, this is 20. Yeah. The length from here to here is 20 because this is the radius. The radius is 20. 20 minus 12, it should be 8. So PQ is 20 minus 12, which is 8. We can use area rectangle, right? Now, for this colored segment here, the yellow color here, we can use formula for area segment. I hope you know area segment is given by half r squared theta minus sine theta. It's basically from half r squared theta minus half AB sine C. Since the two sides, they're equal length, your AB are the same, R and R, sine of the angle in between theta. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to calculate one shot. Let's start with the this part, the green color sector, half. Your radius is 20 square, your theta. Now, I can't use 1.88 because this is 2 pi minus 1.855. I can't use 1.855. So I use 2 pi minus. Yeah, pi is 3.142, 1.55, right? Then I add area of rectangle. This rectangle here, maybe I just color blue color. It has length of 32, height of 8. Then you subtract area of segment. I just use yellow color here, right? Area segment is half, radius is 20 square. Your theta is 1.855 minus sine 1.855. Okay, so let's use our calculator. 0.5, half is 0.5, 20 square times 2 times 3.142 minus 1.855. Then you plus 32 times 8 minus 0.5 times 20 square times open bracket 1.855 minus sine 1.855. Okay, 1.855. Okay, my answer is 962.7778. Usually we just give our answer correct to 4 significant figure. We do so 4 significant figure will be 962.8. Yeah, 962.8. Okay, if you give more, it's not a problem. Yeah, 962.78 if you want. Okay. Okay, moving on to question number 7 here. We have this is from Form 5, Chapter 5, probability distribution. So we have a diagram that shows the percentage of data distributed within one standard deviation. Standard deviation from the mean. This is your mean, mu. This is one standard deviation. So this is the area, right? We are supposed to find the value k. So very simple. We know that if we were to standardize it, right? Okay. This is mu minus sigma, and this is x. This is mu plus sigma. Actually, this calculation is not necessary. We know it's between -1 and 1, but just want to show you, when you standardize, you minus mu divide sigma. This is z, right? You minus mu divided by sigma. So this will give us negative sigma. The mu and mu cancel out. Negative sigma divided sigma is -1. This is z. Again, sigma divided sigma is 1. So it's between -1 and 1. But since this is actually 1 mark, I can actually skip this step. If you understand this, you can skip this. You can straightway go straight to -1 and 1. So -1 and 1 means we have to use total 1 minus 2 times of the upper tail. So 1 minus 2, PZ greater than 1. So the probability of Z more than 1, you can use your mathematical table or your calculator, right? I just show you the calculator part, right? Calculator, we press menu, 7, go for 7, 7 here, right? Go to normal distribution, normal CD. Lower is 1, upper is 999. There you go. You should get 0.1587. Yeah, 0.1587. So alternately, you can use your table. Okay, let me go back to the table. Yeah. Oops, I don't have the table here. Yeah. For 1, right, you can see 0.1587. Okay, so it's quite easier to read from here. Coming back to this question. So we have 1 minus 2 times of this. This will give us, use your calculator. Go back to the normal mode. Okay, menu 1 minus 2 times 0.1587. You should get 34 68.29. Yeah. Okay. 0.682226. 6826. Okay. Now, the value of k in this case will be in decimal, right? So k is percentage in decimal. So your k, you got to multiply by 100. So you can multiply by 100 straight away. 68.26. Okay, it's only 1 mark. It's only 1 mark. All right. If you want to find part B, now we are supposed to sketch the graph representing this. So when I sketch it, I know it's between negative 0.2 and positive 0.2. So again, this is the shaded region. You don't have to use color pen, you just use pencil and shade it will do. And we're supposed to find the probability. This is quite easy. What we do is we take, this is kind of the same as just now, right? That is, we need to do 1 minus the 2 and the 2 upper tier. You can flip it over. It's going to be the same as BZ more than 0.2. And for 0.2, I'm going to use my calculator menu, 7. Go to number 2. Lower is 0.2, 0.2. Upper is 999. I got 4207. Yeah, 0.4207. As I do 1 minus 2 times of 0.4207, I will get 1586. Yeah, 0.1586. Now again, you can use your table. If you don't have this calculator, for 0.2, you can see over here is 4207. Yeah, quite easy to find. Yeah. And there you go. Let me just go back to this. Yeah, your answer is the same, 0.1587. Sorry, 0.1586. Okay, moving on to question number 8. So here we have a survey of influenza vaccination among children was conducted in the town. It is found that the probability of children who took the influenza vaccine is P. Diagram 8 shows a graph of a binomial distribution, sample of 3 children chosen at random. So find the value T. So number 1, we know that total probability is always 1. This is a binomial distribution, right? So if you add together T plus 6T plus 8T plus 12T, total is 1. So when you add together, this will be 1527, right? 15 plus 12, 27T is 1. T is 1 over 27. Okay, simple. Now, next, if there are 630 children in the town, find the standard deviation. Okay, before you find the standard deviation, you know what's your P. Now, a P value you can find from either taking this or that, right? So I think maybe you take the 0, 1, 0, 1, Px equals to 0. Now, Px equals 0 has a value of T, which is 1 over 27, right? So remember binomial formula is n is 3, right? Your n is 3 here, C0. Your P is an unknown, power 3. Your Q is, sorry, power 0. Your Q power 3 minus 0, 1 over 27. Now, anything C0 is 1. P power 0 is also 1. So your Q power 3 is 1 over 27. Q is cube root of 1/27, which is 1/3. Okay, this is not your answer yet. We need P and Q to find your standard deviation. So P is 1 minus Q, Q is 1/3, so your P is 2/3. So therefore, your standard deviation will be square root of NPQ. My N is 630. My P is 2/3. My Q is 1/3. So use your calculator. Square root 630 times 2/3 times 1/3. My answer is this, 11.83. Yeah, 11.83. Okay, the next question, question number 9, is from Form 5, Chapter 4, Permutation and Combination. So here we have a group of mentors, consists of 7 students to be formed. There are 10 female students and 8 male students. Calculate number of ways a group can be formed such that the number of male students is even. So this is a combination. Yeah, we are forming a committee or a group, right? So the arrangement is not important, so it's combination, not permutation. So let's list out. We have 7 students to be chosen from 10 female, 8 male. You want 7, you want total to be 7, and you want the number of male students to be even. So even number will be what? The smallest even number you can have is 2. Then female, you must have 5. So that total is 7. You can have 4. Female, you must have 3. So again, your total is 7. If you have 6 male, then female must have 1. Again, so that your total is 7. So to write this answer, we say 10C5, 10 female, choose 5. 8 male, choose 2. You add together. There are 3 cases to be added. 10 choose 3. 8 choose 4. 10 choose 1. 8 choose 6. Okay, so add together. 10 choose 5 times 8 choose 2. Then choose 3 times 8 choose 4. Then choose 1 times 8 choose 6. My answer is 17350. Sorry, did I say it wrongly? 15736. 15736. Okay. All right. So this is the first part. Okay, let's look at part B. So in part B, you have a group of mentors that was formed consisting of 4 male, 3 female, and they are arranged to be arranged in a row for photograph session. Now, the keyword is arrange. Arrange means permutation. Yeah, arrangement. So find number of ways, different ways a student can be arranged randomly without any restriction. So if there's no restriction, right? Basically you just put 7 people in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anybody can see anywhere. So first option, first one you got 7, second one 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the number of ways is just 7 factorial. You can use your calculator as 5040. Yeah, 7 factorial, 5040. All right. Second one, the head mentor will be chosen from male student and the assistant will be chosen from female student. If the head mentor is Ryan, assistant is Maria, find a number of different ways the student can be arranged according to their gender, such that the position of Maria, okay, keyword, according to gender. That means male, one side, female, one side, such that the position of Maria and Ryan is separated by at least 4 other students. Okay, so we have 2 conditions. That is, Ryan, Maria must be separated by 4 or 5, because total 7. And the male must be one side, female one side. Yeah. So we need to consider case by case. Maybe I say case number 1. There are 4 students between Ryan and Maria. Now let's draw 4 boxes. Now maybe I draw like this. This is Ryan. This is Maria. You still have 4 students. Now the challenge is Okay, number one, where do I put the spare student? There's one more. There are total 7 of them. I can put it on the right, correct? I can also put them on the left. So let me, within this case, they are 2 smaller cases, right? So I draw like that. This is Ryan. This is Maria. There's one more student on the side. All right, so I put all here. Now, the challenge is we're going to put all the male students together. So meaning, the rest of the male student, we have how many male? We have 4 male, right? So these are the male student. And these 2 should be female student, right? So how many ways to put Ryan here? There's only one Ryan, I suppose. So one Ryan, so it's one way. Maria is one way. So you don't have to write that. For male student, we got 3 others. So this is 3 to 1 or 3 factorial. For the female student, we have 2 others. So it's 2 times 1, 2 factorial. However, within this case also, you got to remember that I started with Ryan here. What if I put Maria here? So it will be the other way around, right? It will be the other way around. So you have to, as in, it's a mirror image, right? That means I put, maybe I put Maria here, 2 more girls, and then this is Ryan here, right? And then another boy here. So that means there are 3 boys or male here, and 2 more female, right? So you notice it's going to be the same arrangement because it's 1, 1. This will be 3 to 1. This will be 2, 1. You're going to get the same answer. So I'm not going to write that. So I'm just going to times 2. Yeah, I'm just going to times 2. So the number of way here will be 3 factorial to put the male, 2 factorial to put the female. Then I times 2 because we can switch. Now, then what if I put an empty space here? Actually, this is just a mirror image, right? You notice that you put, let's say, 1, 1, the male, right? This is the male, like just now it's a male. This will be female. So again, this will be 3, 2, 1. Right, I need to put another box here. Another box is missing. Another box. This is female. This is Maria. So this will be another 2, 1. So again, it's the same as 3 factorial times 2 factorial. So if you're lazy, just times 2, right? So they are basically, how many ways here? You can count is 3 factorial, which is 6. 3 factorial is actually 6. You times it 2 factorial, which is 2, times 2 again, times 2 again, you should get 48 ways. Then you move on to case number 2. There are 5 students between Ryan and Maria. So I draw 5 boxes. Okay, actually 7. There are 5 boxes in between them. Ryan, Maria, 5 between them. So these are the male student. First, male. There are 3. Female, you have 2. So this is 3 to 1 or 3 factorial. This is female, 2 times 1, 2 factorial, but you go to times 2. This one I put a times 2 here so to help you to understand, right? So your number of ways will be 3 factorial times 2 factorial times 2. 3 factorial again is 6 times 2 factorial, which is 2 times another 2, 24. So what is your total number of ways? Your total number of ways will be 48 plus 24. That gives us 72. Yeah, so there are 72 different ways to arrange them. Okay, next question is number 10. This is from Form 4, Chapter 4, Indices and Logarithms. And particularly, this is actually involving Surds. So here we have a rectangular cup with a width of 6 minus Surds2. So it looks like this. The width is 6 minus Surds2. The length is an unknown. The area is given as 114 minus 36 Surds2. So we know length times breadth gives us the area, right? So maybe the length, we call it x. Yeah, you multiply with 6 minus Surds2, you get the area 114 minus 36 Surds2. Now, I think I look at this, right? Because you're supposed to find the ratio of the length to the width of the carpet. So 114, right, and 36, you can actually simplify it, as in you can divide by 4, right? You can divide by 4 to get 19 and 6. So I can make the number smaller, right? Maybe I just take out 4, 19 minus, it's actually 19 and 6, right? Yeah. Let me just say is with divide by 6, not 4, divide by 6. You divide by 6, yeah? 114 divide by 6 is 19, right? 36 divided by 6 is 6. So I just prefer to simplify 19 minus 6 at 2. You divide by 6 minus at 2. So you don't have to deal with a big number, right? Now, next, we want to find the length first. We want to rationalize the denominator by multiplying top and bottom with 6 minus 6 plus at 2. You got to multiply with its conjugate. So the conjugate of 6 minus at 2 is 6 plus at 2. Okay, so let's simplify further. 19 times 6, again, 114. Then this is 19 times set 2, 19 set 2, 6 times 6, 36, 6, negative 6, set 2 times set 2 is 2, divide by 6 square is 36, then you minus set 2 times set 2 is just 2. Okay, remember this is a minus b, a plus b. If you have a minus b, a plus b, when you expand it, you should get a squared minus b squared. So let's simplify further. 114 minus 18, you can use a calculator. It should be 96, right? Right? So keep the 6 here. This is 96. Then 19 minus 36, that will be 17. Right? 17, 17 set 2 over 34. Okay, I hope I didn't make any mistake here. Right? Okay, right, 19 minus 36, 17, 114 minus 12, not 18, sorry, 102. This one, 102. Okay, so can we divide them? Yeah, we can. I think 34 you can divide by 2, 17, divide by 2, you get 3. So 102 you can divide by 17. 102 you divide by 17, you should get 6. So this is 3, 6 minus set 2. So you notice that the length is x. You're supposed to find the ratio of the length to the width. The width is already 6 at 2. The length is 3 times of 6 at 2. So length to width is 3 of 6 minus at 2 is to 6 minus at 2. The ratio is 3:1. Okay, you can choose not to factorize the 6. You can actually expand, simplify. You should get the same answer. Okay, next question, question 11. This is from the chapter progression, form 4, chapter 5. Okay, now they say, given that the first term and the common difference of an arithmetic progressions are 5 and -3, you're supposed to express Tn in terms of n. So we know our A is 5, D is -3. So to find Tn, right, Tn's formula is given as A plus n minus 1 d. My A is 5, n minus 1, d is -3. So this is 5 minus 3n plus 3. That gives us 8 minus 3n. Okay, so first part, no problem. We got Tn in terms of n. Now then they say find 2 consecutive terms such that the sum of both terms is now -23. Now, I don't know which 2 terms add together gives 23, but I do know they can be Tn and Tn plus 1. So maybe n can be 7 or 10. The n plus 1 would be 8, or the number after that. So these 2 add together gives us -23. So just sub inside. So you get 8 minus 3. This one keep it as n. The next one I will use 8 minus 3. Replace this with n plus 1. Our job is to solve for n, right? So let's put them together. This is 8 minus 3n. plus 8 minus 3n minus 3 equals negative 23. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 minus 3 is 13. You minus 6n, you get negative 23. So 23 bring to the left. 13 plus 23 is 36. 6n bring to the right. Your n is just 6. However, this is not the answer yet because you want to find which two terms. If the question say which term means the fifth term, sixth term, seventh term, right? You're not finding, we know it's the sixth and seventh term, but we are finding the value of the two term. So let's find T6. What's the T6? Sub inside here. 8 minus 3 times 6, 8 minus 18, negative 10. How about T7? Well, you don't have to calculate once again. You know the common difference is negative 3, so you add the minus 3, negative 13. So the two consecutive terms will be negative 10 and negative 13. You can just add together mentally, and you know that it's going to be negative 23. Okay, that's number 11A. Okay, moving on to part B. So here we have a diagram label. The show cards are labeled with odd numbers arranged consecutively. So determine the total number of cards in 20 boxes. Okay, you can see at the first box you have 1 card, second you have 2, third box you have 3. By itself, it is an arithmetic progression, right? So the first progression we are talking about is the number of cards, yeah, in a box. It's a progression. It goes like this. First one, you have 1 card. Second one got 2. Third one got 3, 4, and so on. So you want to find the number of cards in 20 first boxes, right? So we can use S20. Now, for me, I don't want to use 2a plus n minus 1d. I prefer to use a plus l. Why? Because I know the last term L is 20, right? The last box has 20 cards. So your n is 20 divided by 2. The first box, you have 1 card. The last box, you have 20 cards. So this is 20 divided by 2, which is 10 times 21. Answer 210. So meaning total number of cards, they are 210 cards. And the second part, yeah, this is like a progression within a progression, right? So we are finding the value of cards, right? Or should I say number on the cards, right? So the first number is 1, second number is 3, 5, 7, and so on. This is your D1. You want to go all the way until D210. Okay, so as you can see, the value of number in the card, right? Your A is 1. Common difference is 3 minus 1, which is 2. Your S210 will be n over 2, 2a. Here I'm using n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. Right. Your n is 210 minus 1, d is 2. Common difference is 2. Now let's use our calculator. 210 divided by 2. Open bracket, 2 times 1 is 2. This is 209 times 2. My answer is 44100. 44100. Okay. Okay, question number 12. This is from Form 4, Chapter 8, Vectors. So you're given P, A, B, and Q minus B, A, where A and B are constant. P is in the first quadrant, and we can do a sketch here. Maybe I draw it over here. Okay, maybe this is your A, make A a bit shorter, B a bit longer. So let's say this is vector B. And then you have Q is minus B, A. Minus B should be further to the left. A is a bit shorter. So this is your Q. So notice that actually these two vectors, right, they have the same magnitude. Right? They have the same magnitude because they have the same length for X and Y. If you go and find the magnitude, it's going to be the same. So anyway, just a sketch to help you to understand. Now, you're supposed to first part state the range of values of K if the unit vector in direction OP is Ki plus Mj. Okay, remember, unit vector is a vector divided by its own magnitude, and unit vector must have magnitude of 1. So since my OP, you can write as AI plus BJ, your unit vector of P is AI plus BJ over square root of A square plus B square, right? So your A square plus B square is 1, right? So in this case, if this is 1, right? Should I write here? This is 1, A square plus B square. This is 1. The whole thing is 1. So this is BJ. You don't have to write this. Okay. Whatever values of this number here is not going to be more than 1, but it cannot be 0. Yeah, because A and B are constant. If it's 0, it's at origin, right? So if you're finding the range of values of K, you can see this, the unit vector is Ki plus Mj. Your K value is not going to be more than 1. It's not going to be less than 1, because the whole thing has a magnitude of 1, right? The whole thing has a magnitude of 1. So it's not going to be more than 1. So K is between 0 and 1. Okay, just to help you understand, let's use a figure. So let's say you have vector P as 3i plus 4j. Yeah, OP is 3i plus 4j. The unit vector, you divide by 5. So when you divide by 5, you notice that this length is, this is never more than 1. It is always less than 1, because the magnitude of P itself is 1. If you take 3 over 5 square, 4 over 5 square root, you're going to get 1. Yeah. Furthermore, because your B value is not 0. Yeah, it's definitely going to make this smaller than 1 in order for you to to have a magnitude of unit vector of 1. Okay, so a K value is always between 0 and 1. Okay, just state the value. Do you really need to do all this? No need. You understand that unit vector is total is 1. So one of the component, I component, or even the J component, they're always between 0 and 1. Cannot be more than 1. All right, part B. So if unit vector in this direction 3OP is this, find 2 times magnitude of 2OQ. Okay, so first of all, what is vector 3OP? OP by itself is 3 times of AI plus BJ. Don't need to expand. The unit vector will be of this 3OP will be the vector divided by its magnitude. So the magnitude is also 3 times. So it's 3 times of A square plus B square, which we can simplify. Cancel. So it's actually a waste of time, because the unit vector for 3i, for 3 times of OP is the same as the unit vector of OP itself. It's the same, right? So it's like this length. What is a unit vector? Let's say this is 6i plus 8j. The magnitude is 10. You divide, your unit vector is 305i plus 45j, right? Then you have another vector, 3i plus 4j. The unit vector, the magnitude should be 5. You divide by 5, you get the same thing. So the unit vector of this is this part here, 1 unit of this, right? So if you have a shorter length, let's say shorter line, this one, the unit vector of this is actually the same, right? So unit vector of 2 parallel lines are always the same. Okay, now anyway, coming back to this is AI plus BJ, divided by square root of A square plus B square. So now we know this unit vector is 5 over 2 of AI plus BJ. So what can we do? We know that we can compare this. Can I flip this down? As in, let me write 1 over square root A square plus B square is now 5 over 2. So your A square plus B square would be 2 over 5. Now, what does this thing represent? This is the magnitude of OP. And OQ and OP, they actually share the same magnitude, because if you look at OQ, right, what is the magnitude of 2OQ? It's the same as 2 times of magnitude of OQ. Magnitude of OQ, if you take negative B, you square it, positive A, you square it, it's still going to give us A square plus B square, right? So it's still going to give us 2 over 5. So therefore, it's 2 of 2 over 5 answer is just 4/5. You can really cut short your working, but I just show you quite more steps so that you understand how to get this answer. Okay. Okay, question number 13. This is from the chapter Trigonometry from 5, chapter 6. So you're supposed to sketch the angle -7/3 pi. Yep, and state the quadrant for the angle, which quadrant the angle lies in. So first of all, I want you to think 7/3, think -2, 1/3 pi. So negative angle means we're going in the opposite direction. We're going in the clockwise direction. Positive angle, we go anti-clockwise. Negative angle, we go clockwise. So this is -pi/2. This is -1 pi. This is -3/2 pi. This is -2 pi. So after -2, it would be -5/2 or -2.5. So we're going like this. This is -0.5, -1, -3/2, -2, -2, 1/3. -2, 1/3, it is more than -2. Should I say less than -2? It's more negative. But it is more than -2.5, 2.5 or 5/2. So it lies in quadrant number 4, right? So this will be a reference angle, but do you need to state a reference angle? No, you just have to state the quadrant, right? Your sketch is correct. So which quadrant? Answer is quadrant number 4. Yeah, quadrant number 4. Okay. All right. Or maybe you can write fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, or you can say you can write for the normal 4, not the Roman 4. Doesn't matter, whichever. Okay. Now, next one. Solve this trigo equation for part B. To solve this trigo equation, I think we can just change this to cotangent to 1/tangent. So this is 1/tangent. The -1 I bring to the right hand side becomes 1. Then I would just cross multiply and write tangent x equals to 4. Yeah, bring the tangent over. When you want to find x, you need to first find the reference angle. This is in degree. Make sure you change your calculator mode to degree mode. Shift tangent 4, you should get 75.96. Usually angle in decimal, in degree, we use correct to 2 decimal places, 75.96. So your reference angle is 75.96. As we know, tangent is positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant number 3. This is from 0 to 360. So if it's quadrant 1, it's 75.96 itself. But if it's in quadrant number 3, we must take 180 plus 75.96. So this is 75.96 and 255.96. Yeah, 255.96. Okay. All right. Now let's keep going. Next. This one involving two angle. Okay. So the first one, you're given tangent A equals to P, square root P. Cos B is -304, 305, such that A and B are on the same quadrant. So if both of them are on the same quadrant, let me draw it here. They both must be in quadrant number 3. Why? Well, when you square root any positive number, answer is positive. There is no negative outside. So yeah, P has to be a positive integer. And maybe they probably should say A and B between 0 to 360, right? Perhaps they should say that. I should mention that, but it's okay. We'll just draw quadrant number 3 here, 180, right? So this A is over here. Tangent itself is opposite over adjacent. That means your opposite in this case is square root B, adjacent is 1. But we cannot leave it as P, square root P. You got to put a negative in front. We're going to put a negative in front. Why? Because it's on the left-hand side of the y-axis and is below the x-axis, right? So both square root P has a negative in front and 1 has a negative in front. As for your hypotenuse, we can just take square root. Okay, let me work out the hypotenuse for you. If you take this negative, right, doesn't matter. When you square it, the square root disappear. -1 square, the square root disappear. So it's going to give us P plus 1. Okay, so this is b plus 1. Okay, if you are finding for secant A, right? All right. Okay, but by the way, just to answer this question, some of you may be saying, where do I put B? Why don't we put A and B in quadrant 1? We can't because cos B is negative. If you put in quadrant 1, B will be, cos B will be positive, right? Cos is negative in quadrant number 3 and number 2. Remember ASTC? Yeah, ASTC. Tangent is negative, positive in quadrant 1 and 3. Cos is negative in quadrant 2 and 3. So in this case, we have to pick quadrant 3. So this is your B, right? This is your X and your Y. If you get negative 3 over 5, meaning your adjacent is negative 3, your hypotenuse is 5, your opposite should be negative 4. Yeah, using simple Pythagoras, right? 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, right? Square root. So I've got my two triangle, right? So let's solve part 1 first. Secant A, secant is 1 over cos. If you read cos from this triangle here, cos is a ratio of adjacent over hypotenuse. So if you flip this up, answer is negative square root b plus 1, right? You can write 1 plus b, 1 plus b plus 1 is the same. Okay, how about Roman 2? You're finding tangent A minus b. Okay, you can refer to the list of formula for addition formula for tangent. Tangent A minus b is tangent A minus tangent b divided by 1 plus tangent A tangent b. My tangent A, if I read from here, is just square root b. You can read from the original question, right? My tangent b, if I read from the triangle here, it is negative 4 over negative 5. That would give us positive 4 over negative 4 over negative 3. Answer is positive 4 over 3. Right. Then you divide by 1 plus tangent A square root b, tangent b 4 over 3. To simplify further, we basically multiply top and bottom by 3. Yeah. Just multiply top and bottom by 3. Just to give you a fraction, okay, you should get 3 root b minus 4 over 3 plus 4 root b. There you go. That's your answer. Okay, moving on to question number 14. This is from Form 4, Chapter 2, quadratic function. Okay, you're given a straight line is a tangent to a curve, right? You can call this equation 1, call this equation 2. We sub 1 in 2 or 2 in 1. Maybe I put 2 in 1. So your x squared equals to 1 minus m bracket x plus 1. So let's simplify this. Expand the bracket first. 1 minus mx minus m. Bring it to the left-hand side. This should be plus mx plus m minus 1 equals 0. So when a straight line is a tangent to a curve, that the solution to this equation only one. There's only one solution. Yeah. So we say that the equation has real and equal root. So meaning our b squared minus 4ac value must be equal 0. So take your b m square root minus 4, a is 1, c is m minus 1. The result is equal 0. So let's simplify further. M squared minus 4m plus 4. Let it be 0. Factorize. This is in the form of a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So when you factorize, you get a plus b bracket square. So in this case, m minus 2 bracket square. So there's only one answer for m. M is just 2. All right, so this is part A. So move to part B. So here you have a quadratic function. The height of drone A and B from the ground, they are represented by these two functions, such that t is time in minutes after the drone are flown into the air. So by completing the square, find the difference between the height of drone A and B if they are at the maximum height. So actually for H, you have to complete the square. For G, no need. It's already in a vertex form. So for H, right? So first, maybe I take out, let me do one by one, step by step. I put -½ in front, factorize -½ from here. When you take 4, you divide by -½ you get -8. Let's say this again, 4 divided by -½ is 4 times -2. That gives us -8. Then you complete the square. So you're going to add a number. That number should be half of -8. So it's half -8 divided by 2. You square it, then you minus it off, right? So with that, you can combine the first 3 terms into t minus 4 square. 4 square is 16. You multiply inside, you get -½ with t minus 4 square plus 8. So you can see here, your HT has a maximum, right? Your maximum, because your A is less than 0, definitely is maximum. Your maximum is 8. And that occurs when t is 4. But that's not important. You write the 4 value. What you want is to compare the height. So the height for GT, right? GT has a maximum value as well. The maximum is 22, as you can see from here. And that occurs when t equals to 2. So what is the difference in their height? The difference is 22 minus 8. Answer is 14 meter. Okay. Now, this is Roman 1. Roman 2, find the range of time in minutes if the height of the drone B is at least 17 meter from the ground using the number line method. Okay, at least 17 meter. Okay, drone B is given by this function. Okay, so we will have to take -5 t minus 2 square plus 22, right? This is at least 17 meter. So what we can do is this, we can bring everything to the right hand side. Now, I know a lot of people tend to expand this. I want to show you a method that you don't need to expand. You bring everything to the, or you bring to the left. I think a lot of people would prefer to bring to the left. 25, 22 minus 17 is 5. So there's a plus 5 here, right? This is still greater equal 0. I will divide everybody by -5. So I change the t minus 2 square. This becomes -1. It's now less equal to 0. Now I cannot, actually there's another shorter way to do this, but because I have to fulfill the condition, that is to use number line method. So I will factorize using a plus b, a minus b. Okay, so with that, you can see here your t plus 1, t minus 3 less equals 0. Okay, right. So if you use the number line, right, we have to test one by one. Actually, like I say, a number line is kind of the same as graph. Graph looks like this when you sketch. You can see this part is positive, this part is negative, this part is positive. So number line is like a simplified version, but to be safe, we have to do the test of it, test the point one by one. So the roots are number 1. Okay, this one is -1. I wrote wrongly, yeah? -1, -3, yeah? So yeah, this is 1, this is 3. These are the roots. We pick a number, okay, less than 1. Let's say you put 0. 0 minus 1, 0 minus 3. You can see it's more than 0, right? So this fulfill the condition for t less equals 1. Then you pick a number between 1 and 3. Let's say we take 2. So 2 minus 1, 2 minus 3, this is more than 0. Now I need a bit more space, I find. Wait, let me just rewrite this, or move this to the right a bit, not enough space. Okay, so let me just make it bigger. So your number line should have 3 parts, 1 and 3. So this part will be, we pick a number less than 1, which is 0. 0 minus 1, 0 minus 3. You can see it's less than, it's more than 0, right? It's positive. It's always going to be positive because it's above here. You can base on the graph. Okay, then you take a number. So this part is positive. Then you take a number between 1 and 3. Let's say 2. 2 minus 1 is positive. 2 minus 3 is negative. So it's going to be less than 0, right? Negative. All right, the third one, pick a number more than 3. 4, 4 minus 1 is positive. 4 minus 3 is also positive. Positive times positive is going to be more than 0, positive. So therefore, the first inequality is meant for t, this is not x, sorry, this is t less equals to 1. Second one is between 1 and 3. The third one is t greater equals to 3. Since we want the region to be, but we want it to be, I brought to the right. Okay, I changed the sign. I want it to be less than 0, right? I want this to be less than 0. Okay, so wait, this is blocking. Okay, I want it to be less than 0 here. So I need to take this region. So what is your answer? Your answer, t is between 1 and 3 inclusive. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to question number 15. So here we have a diagram that shows a quadrilateral PQRS such that O is origin, QR is parallel to the x-axis. So when the line is parallel to x-axis, right, we know this is a horizontal line. Okay, so if it's a horizontal line, they share the same y value, your y coordinate. Your y is always 6. So therefore, you can say the coordinate point Q is now 0, 6. It is 0 because it lies on the y axis. Now, it is given that area quadrilateral PQRS is 68. Find the value of h. So here we can use the formula for area of the polygon, in this case, a quadrilateral. We have to go either anti-clockwise or clockwise. Now, for me, I can see from the diagram, so I'll use anti-clockwise so that the value is always positive. Don't need to put plus minus. So if the diagram is not given, we do not know whether the position of the coordinates are clockwise or anti-clockwise. So we will have to take into consideration both plus and minus, right? So now let's begin. So first of all, we know Q is 0, 6. So the area will be half. Let's start with point P, x1, y1, -5, -5, x2, y2, 5, -3, h, 6, followed by Q is 0, 6, and this area will be 68. Now, remember, we're going to multiply downwards minus multiply upwards. So -5, you multiply with -3, 5, you times with 6, h, you times with 6, right? Then, okay, sorry, you need to repeat the first point. The first point is -5, -5, yeah? x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4. Repeat the first point. Answer is 68. So in this case, we keep going. This one is 0, -5 minus, this will be -5 times 5, -3 times h. You can write -3h, then 6 times 0, and 6 times -5. Now remember to write everything out. The new SPM marking scheme require you to write everything out. So you need to do so. The 2 you can times over 2 times 68 is 136. Okay, so this is 15 plus 30 plus 6h. 0, you can leave it out. Minus, maybe I can just change this to a plus 30 plus 25. 5 times 5 is 25. And then plus 3h. The 6 times 0 is 0. Ignore it. Minus 30 is a plus 30. The result is 136. Now remember I said because I'm going in anti-clockwise, so answer is positive. You don't have to put modulus, you don't have to put plus minus, yeah, because the sequence of the coordinate that we're choosing is already in a anti-clockwise direction, which is going to give us a positive number, positive value. Okay, so let's take 6 plus 3, that is 9h. 15 plus 30 is 45. 45 plus 25 is 70. 70 plus 30, that would be 100. So this is 136. 136 minus 100 is 36. 36 divided by 9, h is just 4. Okay, right. Now, let's move on to part B. Now, next one, part B. J is a point. Point J moves such that the distance from point P is always 2 times its distance from the x-axis. Okay, so I don't know where is J, right? So maybe I just put J here. J can be maybe I put over here lah. Something, yeah, easier to see. This is J. It has a coordinate of, let's say, xy. Now, the distance of J from P, right, is always twice its distance from the x-axis. The distance from x-axis, we have to take the perpendicular distance. So the perpendicular distance here is your y value, which is your y coordinate, right? So let's call this, if you want, you can call it n, jn. Yeah, n like normal, right? Perpendicular. So up to you, whatever notation you want, okay? Distance from point P is always twice the distance from x-axis. So meaning j to P is 2 times j to n, or you can write j to x-axis. Now, j to P, we can use formula for distance, right? Which is x minus minus 5, x plus 5 square, y minus minus 5, y plus 5 square is twice the distance of jn. Jn, like I say, is just y. We don't know exactly where is the position of j. It's a moving point. It can be anywhere, right? You can be maybe here as well. Maybe I just show you. Maybe j could be here. The distance from here is twice the distance from x-axis, right? So we can just leave it like this. Now, next, we can square both sides. When we square the left and I expand the bracket, you get x squared plus 10x plus 25. This will be y squared plus 10y plus 25. You square the y, 2 squared is 4. And then this is y squared. Okay, from here on, you can just bring the 4y squared to the left-hand side. Okay, so you get x squared, y squared minus 4y squared is 3y squared plus 10x plus 10y plus 50 equals to 0. Yep. So that's all. Is x squared minus 3y squared plus 10x plus 10y plus 50 equals 0. That is your equation of locus of J. Oh, we still need to find whether the locus passes through point 5 minus 5. Okay, so we don't know whether it passes through point. So, but if it does pass through the point, right, we say that this coordinate 5 minus 5, 5 satisfy the equation. Satisfy the equation means when you sub inside, the left-hand side must equals to the right-hand side. So what we do is we sub -5, 5. We write LHS, stands for left-hand side. We put -5, square root, minus 3, 5, square root, plus 10, -5, plus 10 times 5, plus 50. So -5 squared is 25. This is 5 squared, 75. 5 squared, 25. 25 times 3, 75. Minus 50 plus 50 plus another 50. So you can see this is self 25 minus 75, -50. -50 minus 50 is minus 100. Then plus another 100, you get 0, right? If you are unsure about this, just use a calculator, type in, right? So this is equals to right-hand side. So we know, therefore, locus of J passes through the point is -5, 5. Okay, that's all. Okay, so guys, this is the end of discussion of this paper. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something in the process. So hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.